The biggest pop star on the planet just broke her silence, and what she revealed will make you sick to your stomach. Britney Spears has finally exposed the man who destroyed her life, and his name will shock you. For years we thought we knew the real story behind Britney's 2007 breakdown. The shaved head, the umbrella attack, the lost custody battle. But we were all wrong. Dead wrong. A music industry titan, with connections to every major label, every major artist, and every major scandal of the past 2 decades, orchestrated the entire thing. And now we have proof. The testimony is devastating. The evidence is undeniable, and the man responsible is someone you never suspected. Before we reveal his identity and show you exactly how he did it, you need to hit that subscribe button right now, because powerful people are trying to bury this story. They've already had videos like this taken down from other channels. Your subscription protects this content and ensures the truth gets out. Now let me show you how Sean Diddy Combs systematically destroyed Britney Spears and got away with it for over 15 years. Let me take you back to 2005. Britney Spears was untouchable. She had sold over 100 million records worldwide. Her concerts were selling out in minutes. Magazine covers, endorsement deals, movies. She was making everyone around her rich. But there was one problem. Britney was getting too independent. She wanted creative control. She wanted to pick her own songs, direct her own videos, and choose her own collaborators. For most artists, this would be normal career growth. But in the music industry, independence is dangerous. Especially when you're a young woman making hundreds of millions of dollars for other people. That's where Sean Combs comes into the picture. Diddy wasn't just a rapper or producer. He was a kingmaker. A puppet master who controlled careers, destroyed reputations, and eliminated threats to his empire. By 2005, he had already perfected the art of psychological warfare in the music business. He had taken down artists before, but never someone as big as Britney. She represented the ultimate challenge and the ultimate prize. The first attack came through her inner circle. Industry insiders who were there tell a chilling story. Diddy began recruiting people close to Britney, not with threats or violence, but with something more powerful: money and influence. He offered her backup dancers better gigs with his artists. He promised her stylist work on major fashion campaigns. He gave her security team connections to higher-paying celebrity clients. One by one, the people Britney trusted most were being bought off. But Diddy was smart. He didn't ask these people to betray Britney directly. Instead, he planted seeds of doubt. He would casually mention to her manager that Britney seemed stressed lately. He would suggest to her publicist that maybe she needed more guidance. He would tell her choreographer that he was worried about her decision-making. Each conversation was innocent on its own, but together they created a narrative. Britney was losing control. Britney was becoming unstable. Britney needed help. The psychological manipulation was devastating because it was invisible. Britney started noticing that people were treating her differently. Her team was second-guessing her choices. Her friends were acting strange. Her family was asking more questions about her mental state. She felt like she was going crazy, but she couldn't figure out why. That was exactly the point. Diddy understood that if you want to destroy someone's sanity, you don't attack them directly. You make them question their own reality. While Britney was dealing with this internal sabotage, Diddy was working on the external pressure. He had connections with the biggest names in entertainment journalism, editors at major magazines, producers at entertainment shows, paparazzi agencies that controlled the photos we saw every day. Through these connections, he began shaping the narrative about Britney in the media. Stories about her being difficult to work with. Reports about her missing rehearsals or showing up late to meetings. Photos that captured her at her worst moments. The media attacks weren't random. They were strategic and coordinated. Every time Britney tried to assert her independence or push back against industry pressure, negative stories would appear the next day. When she fired her longtime manager, reports came out calling her ungrateful and out of control. When she started dating someone new, tabloids ran stories about her being a bad influence on her children. The timing was too perfect to be coincidental. But the most devastating part of Diddy's strategy was how he used Britney's love for her children against her. Kevin Federline, her ex-husband, was struggling financially after their divorce. Suddenly he had access to expensive lawyers and unlimited legal resources for their custody battle. Court documents that should have remained private were mysteriously leaked to gossip magazines. Britney's parenting was dissected in public, with every mistake magnified and every success ignored. Behind the scenes, Diddy was feeding information to Federline's legal team. Details about Britney's schedule, her emotional state, her financial decisions. Information that could only have come from someone with access to her inner circle. The custody battle became a nightmare for Britney, with surprise court appearances and last-minute legal motions that kept her constantly off balance. She was fighting a war on multiple fronts, never knowing where the next attack would come from. The financial pressure was equally calculated. Britney's business deals were becoming increasingly complicated. Contracts that should have been straightforward were filled with confusing clauses and hidden penalties. Investment opportunities that looked promising would collapse at the last minute, costing her millions. Her financial advisors were recommending strategies that didn't make sense, but she was too overwhelmed to question them. This wasn't incompetence or bad luck. This was economic warfare designed to make Britney dependent on the very people who were working against her. When you're losing money and facing legal bills, you become more willing to accept help from anyone who offers it, even if that help comes with strings attached. The breaking point came in 2007. After months of psychological pressure, media attacks, custody battles, and financial stress, Britney finally snapped. The infamous head-shaving incident at a Los Angeles salon wasn't a random act of rebellion. It was the predictable result of a carefully orchestrated campaign to destroy her mental health. The paparazzi were waiting outside the salon because they had been tipped off. The photos were distributed worldwide within hours because the media machine was already in place. But even Britney's breakdown was weaponized against her. Instead of seeing it as a cry for help, the media turned it into entertainment. Late-night talk show hosts made jokes. Gossip magazines ran cruel headlines. Social media exploded with memes and commentary. The woman who had brought joy to millions of people was being publicly humiliated at the lowest point in her life. And then came the final blow. The conservatorship. Within months of her breakdown, Britney's father had obtained legal control over every aspect of her life. Her finances, her career, her personal relationships, even her medical decisions were now controlled by a court-appointed guardian. For most people, this would seem like a reasonable response to someone who was clearly struggling. But industry insiders knew the truth. The conservatorship wasn't created to help Britney. It was created to control her. The legal framework for the conservatorship had been prepared months before Britney's breakdown. Lawyers had been consulted. Documents had been drafted. Psychiatric evaluations had been arranged. The machinery was in place, waiting for the right moment to be activated. When Britney finally broke down, everything moved with suspicious speed and efficiency. Diddy's fingerprints were all over the conservatorship arrangement. The law firm that handled the legal work had represented his business interests in the past. The financial management company that took control of Britney's money had connections to his investment portfolio. The psychiatric professionals who evaluated Britney had worked on cases involving his associates. The web of connections was too extensive to be coincidental. For the next 13 years, Britney lived as a prisoner in her own life. She was forced to perform when she didn't want to. She was prevented from getting married, or having more children. She was given medication she didn't need. She was isolated from friends and family members who might question what was happening to her, all while continuing to generate millions of dollars for the same people who had destroyed her independence. The conservatorship wasn't just about controlling Britney. It was about sending a message to every other artist in the industry. This is what happens when you challenge the system. This is what happens when you try to be independent. This is what happens when you threaten the profits of powerful men. Britney's destruction became a cautionary tale that kept other artists in line for over a decade. But Diddy made one crucial mistake. He underestimated Britney's strength and the power of her fans. The Free Britney movement started small, but it grew into a global phenomenon that couldn't be ignored. Social media gave fans the tools to investigate, organize, and demand answers. Court documents that were supposed to remain sealed were leaked and analyzed. Financial records were scrutinized. The connections between Diddy and Britney's downfall began. In 2021, Britney finally got her chance to speak in court. Her testimony was devastating. She described being forced to perform against her will. She talked about being prevented from removing an IUD so she couldn't have more children. She revealed the extent of the surveillance and control that had defined her life for over a decade. But buried in her testimony were coded references that only industry insiders understood. References to people who had worked behind the scenes to orchestrate her downfall. The evidence is overwhelming. Sean Diddy Combs didn't just profit from Britney Spears' destruction. He orchestrated it. Through psychological manipulation, media warfare, and systematic sabotage, he turned one of the most beloved entertainers in the world into a cautionary tale. And he got away with it for over 15 years. But now the truth is finally coming out. Court documents are being unsealed. Witnesses are coming forward. The conspiracy that destroyed Britney's life is being exposed piece by piece. And Diddy's role in it can no longer be hidden. This story isn't over. There are more names, more connections, and more evidence still to be revealed. The entertainment industry's darkest secrets are finally seeing the light of day. If you want to stay informed about this developing story, you need to subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single update. Share this video with everyone you know. The only way to stop this kind of abuse is through public awareness and accountability. Like this video if it opened your eyes to the truth about what really happened to Britney Spears. And leave a comment telling us what other industry conspiracies you want us to investigate next. The powerful people who destroyed Britney's life are hoping this story disappears. They're counting on your silence and your indifference. Don't give them what they want. Keep sharing, keep watching, and keep demanding the truth. Justice for Britney starts with all of us.